Hey, guess who? Look, over the last few days, I've been talking about shifting your mindset, mindset shifts, things to do to better your life, improve your future, give you the best opportunity to be able to move and step forward. I've given you action steps, things to do at the end of each video to help you become more accountable, take action in what you need to do. So what I want to maybe cover today a little bit more is not so much the practicality of things, but signs that you have a problem with negativity, say. Admitting there's a problem if you're not being able to do the things that we've talked about previously. You see, the first thing you need to do is to admit that you actually have a problem and ask yourself the following questions, okay? And this is important. If you need to go through this process, it's not therapy, it's a process in order to be able to move forward properly with what you want to do as a person. So ask yourself the following questions. When you have an idea, do you automatically point out the drawbacks of the idea first? Is this done out of the fear that you'll be too upset if you look forward to it? Do you justify this habit by calling yourself a realist? Now, if you've hesitated before answering any of these questions, then you do have a problem and you'll have to work hard to get it fixed. And I'm not detracting away from any of that, okay? Now was going to save this next little bit for another video, but I'm actually going to cover it in this video because I think it's important to get this whole covered in one big aspect, and that's how to identify triggers around negativity. So it's recognizing the triggers of negativity. Now, we talked about recognizing triggers of habits, etc., good habits, bad habits, blah 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 previously. So we're now focusing in on triggers of negativity. Just like with your habits, your negativity can be caused by a specific trigger. Negativity usually stems from fear. When you have a negative outlook regarding a particular issue, the odds are high that you have an irrational fear that has become associated with that issue. Now, I'm going to tell you straight away from my own personal experience. I have had an issue with recording videos. It's taken me a long time to shoot these videos because I've associated a fear of getting in front of the camera, of what I may look like, how I think I look, and I've had to overcome those fears. I actually don't care what I look like. It makes no difference, because what I look like isn't going to make a blind bit of difference to you. It's what I say to you, it's what I advise, it's what you're listening to, it's what you're absorbing from this video, of the information that I'm giving. That's all that matters. I could sit here with spots, freckles, and goodness knows what else on my face. It shouldn't make a blind bit of difference. Yes, it might make it a little bit hard for you to get past, but close your eyes, listen to what's being said. You know, just treat it as an audio. It makes no difference. But you understand my meaning. We're distracting away from the actual main reason. In order to rid your life of negative thoughts and actions, you need to identify your triggers and the concern that are leading you to engage in these negative thought processes. That's why we ask these questions. When you have an idea, do you automatically point out the drawbacks of the idea first? So do you look at the negative things, the drawbacks, the bad side of these things first? Is this done out of fear that you'll be too upset if you look forward to it? You know, a lot of us actually don't do things because we don't want to be seen to be enjoying ourselves. We feel that it's too out of place to look happy and be happy. And it's quite funny because, you know, you won't get me on a dance floor unless I've had a few beers. But that's because I'm so self-conscious. I don't want people to be looking at me thinking what an idiot he looks. And I valued that more than actually the enjoyment of me dancing like an idiot on the dance floor, sober or drunk. You see? So I held myself back and would have the drink, so I'd have that as an excuse to then get on the dance floor. So it makes a big difference, do you see? Everyone has their own vulnerabilities. How bizarre. The only way that you can move on from these is if you can consciously identify your weaknesses. My self-consciousness is my weakness, so that you can develop a better way to construct a more productive dynamic regarding your particular fears. So when you can identify you've got a problem, you can address it and you can do something about it. But you have to make that decision. As you work towards changing that mindset on that negative issue, it is important to remember that negativity will cloud your vision. Okay? It will start telling you things that you want to hear in order for you to protect yourself from making that change, from identifying and admitting that problem. It's quite clever. If you want to find success and live a happier life, you need to find a way to eliminate those things that are holding you back, including your fears and vulnerabilities. Now, I've talked to you about quite a few things there that actually have nothing to do with business, success, or anything. They're personal fears. Dancing on the dance floor, stone cold sober, was a fear. I hated the idea because I didn't want people laughing and joking about how I danced. But do you know what? Why should I care what other people think when it's my happiness and it makes me joyful and happy to do that? And that's what should matter. It's not selfish. It's not being, ignorant to others. That's my own personal feelings. That's how I should feel. Now, I can pretty much say I must be able to speak for a good majority of people out there that don't really know how to dance, that possibly feel the same way. And it's quite simple. Do you value other people's opinions more than your own happiness, your own joy? So that's what you need to identify. So signs that you've got a problem with negativities are very important. Okay? Like I say, those questions you need to be able to answer. If you hesitate on any of those questions, then you definitely do have a problem. You need to work on fixing that. Like we say, your habits, they're covered. Your negativity can be caused by specific triggers, and it's the triggers that you need to identify. Now, in that particular instance, the trigger is being self-conscious and being made fun of. You have to decide to change that trigger. The trigger really should be, I'm going to go and dance because it makes me happy. It's going to make me enjoy my evening, drink or no drink. It shouldn't make any difference. I don't need an excuse. Let's just go and have fun. So, make today count. Start looking at some of those negative things that you have. Admit that there's a problem and address them. Find ways to change that, to overcome those fears, those vulnerabilities. So, 2 actions. Like and subscribe or follow, whatever it is around this video. And put below a fear of yours. Let's see if we can maybe work together to identify the trigger and get you to overcome that fear. Make today count.